After much anticipation, Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone has finally arrived, but I'm a little disappointed. Hello everyone, my name is Rachel and I review everything. Being the huge fan that I am of the original Twilight Zone from the absolutely brilliant mind of Rod Serling, I was really looking forward to seeing this version of the show, especially because I've heard such great things about its host, co-writer, and executive producer, Jordan Peele. I got even more excited when the trailer started coming out. Everything looked so great that it convinced me to sign up for CBS All Access, but unfortunately there was one change made that I'm not too happy with. Before we get into that though, I did want to take a moment to remind you that I upload new reviews to this channel every single week. So if you like this video at any time, be sure to hit subscribe to stay up to date with future content. And now with that out of the way, let's take a step into the Twilight Zone. So to kick off its debut season, we were given not just one, but two new episodes to watch. The first being The Comedian starring Kumail Nanjiani, and the second, Nightmare at 30,000 Feet, with one of my favorite actors, Adam Scott. So as much as I would like to avoid talking about this because it's probably an unpopular opinion, I'm just gonna go ahead and address what I already don't like about this new version of the show. It's one thing, but it's a big thing, and that's the rating. Maybe I should have suspected this because it is on a streaming service after all, but I had absolutely no idea that this show was going to be rated TVMA. And because I wasn't aware of that, the first episode definitely caught me off guard. The Comedian is filled with language from the get-go. Now, I don't really consider myself to be all that sensitive to strong language, so after thinking about it pretty much non-stop for the past couple of days, I think the main reason I wasn't happy with this new direction was because that means with this version, it's no longer something that people can sit down and watch together as a family. That was kind of a letdown for me because I discovered the Twilight Zone by watching it with my mom when I was about 8 or 9 years old. And it's just kind of a bummer to think that other parents won't be able to introduce their children to this new version. But in this episode, Kumail Nanjiani plays Samir Wassan, a struggling comedian who wants to be famous but has trouble getting his act over with his audience. I won't give out any spoilers, but he does suddenly find success, but it's success that comes with quite the catch. Now, the plot I did like. I felt it was very classic Twilight Zone, and I love that the moral of the story was, you know, like the price of fame. Very good stuff as far as that goes. But there was some crude humor in this episode, which it wasn't something that I felt was necessary. It was a little distracting, and it took me out of what was a good, well thought out story. Just seemed kind of forced to me. I had a much better time watching Nightmare at 30,000 Feet. This one followed journalist Justin Sanderson, who, quote, finds the fate of Flight 1015 in his hands. I thought this one was much better. Still a bit of language, but it's dialed way down. I loved Adam Scott. His performance was great, and the previous episode did drag a little towards the end. I thought this one filled the hour a bit better. Hey guys, while I was editing, I decided to check to see if both episodes were the same length, and The Comedian is actually about 55 minutes long, while Nightmare at 30,000 Feet was about 37 minutes. A bit shorter, so no wonder it wasn't dragging as much. Just wanted to drop in and correct myself a bit. Now back to the review. Now let's dive into my list of positives because there were a lot of good things about this show. First off, you can tell right away that there was a lot of time and effort put into this version visually, and it looks phenomenal. The recreation they did of the introduction could not have been any better. Both of those things captured the tone of the Twilight Zone very well, and Jordan Peele's narration really tied everything together for me. You know, despite this whole rating thing, I will continue to watch because after all, these are just my initial thoughts. We still have a lot more coming our way very soon. I do plan on coming back after the first season and doing a review on the entire thing, so be on the lookout for that. But what did you guys think of this new version? So far, it seems like people are kind of liking it, so hopefully we can have a nice little discussion. As per usual, I have a lot more reviews coming your way very soon, so be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell icon to stay up to date with those. But until then, I'm Rachel, and that was my review of Jordan Peele's The Twilight Zone.